Good morning, it is Phil and Heather, and we are here this morning in the Cohutta Wildlife Management Area, and we're here along the side of this creek, and we've driven, I don't know, it took us about an hour and 15 or 20 minutes to get here from our house, and the last 30 minutes of it was driving on this one lane wide gravel road, which was really a lot for our Sonata. And then the last mile and a half, we turned onto an even more narrow one lane wide gravel road. But it's really beautiful up here. Today is what, November the 3rd? November the 3rd, and the time changed last night, so we got a little extra hour of sleep. So we got up early, and we're here at pretty much right at sunrise. So I'm gonna go down this hill and see if I can get to the waterfall. Let me show you the hill. Okay, so the waterfall is over there, and it's not that far down. It's just going to be tricky to get there. I'll have to kind of figure out a way. And I've already scoped out the top of the waterfall. I can get a picture from up there a lot easier, but I'm going to do this part down here first and then work on that. Okay, I made it down here. It's really beautiful, really beautiful. And I've made a few shots. I've got the 24-70 on, and I'm shooting somewhere between 24 and 50 millimeters. I've made a couple of different compositions, and it's weird, you know, usually in landscape photography you want to shoot 100 ISO, but I'm trying to get my shutter speed right at a half a second because that looks the best. And in order to get there, I've had to bump my ISO up to 400, but the Z6 can handle 400 ISO absolutely no problem. So I'm not really concerned about noise in the shot at that ISO. If I'm doing sports or live music, I'll shoot way higher ISO than that. So I've got the polarizer on, and I'm just making a few compositions of this area. There's some light, some white light above the falls, so I'm trying to keep that out of the shot. And I think I'm gonna move around some more, maybe even move back further. There's some rocks over there where I can get more to the middle. It's exactly 32 degrees here Fahrenheit, so that's 0 Celsius. So I thought I might stand in the water and make a shot this morning. I even brought some shoes that I didn't mind getting wet, but that's when I thought it was going to be 40 or so, not 32. I'm not getting in that water at this temperature. This is the best of the shots that were made relatively close to the falls. I think the later shots a little bit further back are better, but I still like this one quite a bit. Look at that beautiful fall color. Look at that. What a beautiful place. It's kind of precarious standing on these rocks, but this is the further back composition that I'm going to try to work on. I've left both my camera bags over there where I was, so once I get this thing framed up, I got to make sure my camera bag's not in the shot. And it looks like it's going to be. So I'll have to scamper over there and get those. Right now I'm getting it level. I need to bring the camera down some because I got that white light from above in it, which I don't like. Camera bag's barely in the shot, but I'm still going to have to go over there and get it. Manual focus. Turn the polarizer and make sure it's right. And I'm completely controlling the exposure. I'm at f8, and I'm keeping my shutter speed at a half a second. I'm completely controlling the exposure with ISO. Okay, let's go get that camera bag out of the way. Excuse me. Five-second timer, half a second, f8, 1/250th, or ISO 250. That is worth the trip. That's worth the trip right there. That shot was worth the trip. No overexposed areas, just beautiful. I made another shot, zoomed back just a little bit, The first one was at 52 millimeters. No, the first one was at 56 and the second one was at 52. Not much of a change. ISO, to keep the exposure right, went from 250 to 320. But I think I like the 52 millimeter shot better. I'll know better when I get home. I don't know. I like them both. This is the second composition. This is a little bit further back. I did shoot further back than this still, but this is kind of the medium distance composition. And here's the raw file. And of course I shoot in camera flat profile, so they're really kind of dull, my raw files are. And this is the edited version of composition number 2 here at this falls. So far the only lens I've used is the 24-70 and the FTZ and the Z6. Okay, so from that medium distance back, I went ahead and did a vertical shot. Now usually when I do a vertical landscape photography shot, I'll crop it 4x5, but this one looked better in the original 2x3, so I'm showing it to you on this scroll so you can kind of see the whole thing, because when you look at it this way, it looks really small on a horizontal monitor, but I like this one a bunch. I went all the way to those boulders there and made a shot, a vertical shot or two of the falls, and then I made a shot looking downstream with no falls in it. I was able to get back to 100 ISO and do a really long exposure, not really long, but 3 or 4 seconds. And now I may try to hike pretty close to the falls and see what I can get up there. Probably not as good of a shot really close, but we'll see. Okay, so this is another 2x3 vertical shot. This is the one facing 180 degrees away from the falls, but I like this one quite a bit too. The fall color is really popping, and this one I did longer exposure on because there was no waterfall to try to get it just right, and the slick water looked better. But so that one is pretty cool, and this next one is probably my favorite composition of the day. This is way back and a pretty wide shot of the falls, kind of buried in all the foliage. I think Heather's favorite shot is the vertical shot of the falls, and this is probably mine. You can let me know which one you like. Okay, here is the stream or creek above the waterfall. It comes down and has that first little fall, and then the major fall spills down there, and then it cuts back across and goes over here. And down there's where I was making the shots of this. It's really pretty. I'm not sure if I've seen any of my many landscape photographer friends ever make a shot of this place, so that was kind of our motivation to come here, because it's not often photographed. But right there is the probably should have taken a vehicle with 4-wheel drive gravel road. Okay, I've decided to make a photo of the little area that's right above the falls, kind of from a low angle. So I've got my tripod already kind of sitting over there in the water really low. I think that little cascade right there, or whatever you might want to call that, with a nice background might look pretty good in a really low angle shot. So here I go. Okay, I got my camera perfectly level. Looks like I can back it all the way up, all the way to 40 or so millimeters before I start getting too much light from the background. I'm gonna dial the polarizer to where it's almost getting rid of all the glare, but not all of it. And I think on this one, I can make my shutter speed as long as I want. So I'm going to dial the shutter speed all the way to 5 seconds. There's no wind. These leaves aren't moving at all. I'm going to put my focus point right on the falls, and I'm going to zoom the live view up and just focus until it's just right. Back it up. Make sure my 5-second timer is on. And go. Let's see how that looks. Oh yeah, that's nice. That's you can even see the little swirl in the water. I wish I could get a little bit further to the right with the camera, but it's wet over there. Let's try one more of the same thing, but with the camera a little higher up, just to see if that changes anything. That actually might be better. Yeah, that little height difference changed the composition quite a bit. Let's make sure I'm still in focus. Nope. I'll take a look at the polarizer now and see where it looks best. Probably right there. 5-second timer is still on. Exposure is still right. F13 ISO 100, 5-second timer and 5-second exposure. Neither one of those is great. The pictures of the big falls behind me are definitely better, but that was worth doing just to have a little something extra. Oh, now to try to stand up. That's a chore. Don't want to fall down that way, or this will be Phil Falls instead of whatever it's actually called. Okay, so this is probably my least favorite photo of the day, but my favorite part of this least favorite photo is the way the bubbles in the bottom center of the frame are making that clockwise swirl over towards the bottom left of the frame. It reminds me of a photo that Gavin Hardcastle made on his photography channel a while back, and I was really happy to capture that effect. Okay, so that should do it for us from the Cohutta Wildlife Management Area in Murray County, Georgia. We appreciate you watching. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. And look, I've about frozen poor Heather to death. Say bye-bye. Bye-bye. See y'all next time.